I got it! When I first heard about Dave being trapped in a maze...
1, 2, 3, 4!
I built a labyrinth. Can you believe it?
Dave is trapped in a cardboard maze in his living room and he can't get out.
Welcome to Dave Made a Minute, the podcast where a whole bunch of us are exploring the film Dave Made a Maze 1 minute at a time. The twist. Many of the participants have never seen the film. Some don't even know what film they're sampling. They get their minutes and they tackle them as they see fit. Here's your host from the Groundhog Day Project and Michael Myers Minute, Robert Black.
Minute 76, Harry talks to Gordon, and Annie and Dave take out the trash. To tackle Minute 76, we have me, along with Dave Pallas of Groundhog Minute and Alan Sanders of The Wilder Ride.
You come home, there's a giant maze in your living room. You're like, what the... There's a giant maze in my living room. I've heard of people rearranging the furniture, but this is wackadoodle crazy. Give me a sense of that.
This doesn't make any sense.
Is that a problem? Did you promise to my set? Provide solutions to the problem.
It's like a fucking cocktail party in here.
I get a few words from you before you go.
It's 76, local, okay.
And I'm recording locally as well.
There's no beginning here because the intro will be separate. So, to start, since you haven't seen it, Alan, you want to describe the minute for us?
Oh, sure. Actually, we open this minute with the dialogue that you use in your open and close, or actually it's in your close of every single episode, where I guess Harry is telling Gordon, I need you to notify all the families who died here today.
Yep.
And it ends with a longing, odd look between Dave and Annie.
And his maze.
Yeah.
Oh, yeah, the remnants.
Remnants of said maze, yeah.
The remnants of the maze.
So I have no idea how you want to move forward with this one, since we didn't talk about it ahead of time.
No, that's what's going to make it fun, because Dave, you've watched the movie.
Loved
right?
it. Watched it, loved it.
Alan, you have not watched the movie, but have been keeping up with the podcast, so.
I am up to, I think when we're recording this, we're 9 episodes ahead of the most recent released episode.
Yeah.
So it's been interesting because having all the unique individual podcasters take on individual minutes, some did a much better job, in my opinion, of focusing on what was happening in the minute, and some went on rabbit trails that were so like off. I don't even know what happened in their minute. So it's kind of fun.
Yeah. Well, that's why in my intros, I always gave at least a sentence of, here's what's happening in the minute.
Yeah.
Like, just in case.
I do like when there's been some minutes where it's obvious somebody doesn't have any clue, and so you insert yourself and you say, well, the reason they don't know what they're talking about is because this happened. And then you like go back to them.
Yeah, I mean, getting lost in this maze, both metaphorically and being the physical person who's now watching it and being like, I don't know where to start. Because when Rob approaches you and says, you got to do this podcast, also don't watch it and watch this clip now. What do you think? You know, it's like, it is very daunting. I mean, luckily, I got right before the maze, and now I'm getting right after the maze. So I'm lucky I get to see both sides of it. But yeah, loving the film and everything. And you know, I'm starting our minute here with Gordon. It's like the last time we really get to see Gordon.
Yeah.
The heart of the film. I was telling Rob earlier, heart of the film. I didn't realize it until you started talking about in the podcast that his shirt was evolving.
Mm-hmm.
That was amazing. I was like, because I remember when me and Sean and Jay are really starting to talk about his shirt, we're like, wow, what an interesting shirt he has. And it was like, he has really early bit graphics, and now it's like a really well rendered figure of clearly what's Gordon, not just a figure. It's clearly Gordon.
Yep.
Yeah, we noticed that initially about the character. It looked like at one point in time, though, his hands are in a different position than the last, I think, minute we had, where it looked like he had a sword in one hand and a dagger in the other.
Yeah.
Yeah, I think when I first saw it, I couldn't tell what he was holding. I thought he was holding like a chicken or something. I was like, I can't make out the shapes. It was too vague. And now I'm like, and it was like clearly a hero quote. It was a hero on a shirt, and now we see it's Gordon. And it's the man evolved. The man is he did it, man. He life and limb. He got who he could out of the maze. And now he's Henry, the director. Harry is now just dropping that Okay, well, you gotta start calling Slovenia or whatever that country is and try to figure out what tourists are lost in the maze.
Yeah, the Flemish tourists.
Flemish tourists, they're gone. Like there's gonna be some FBI investigation later. Like I heard
It's okay.
Flemish tourists
They were
the
having
area.
a picnic.
Yeah, they're having. I think that's the last we saw them. Right, they're having a picnic while like everyone's running.
Gordon runs past them.
Yeah, that's the question I have, having no sense of continuity of this besides what I can glean from the previous episodes of what other people watched. What kind of investigation is going to follow? What's the FBI / police trail after all of this?
They don't have bodies, but they could have the body of a crime if they find the cardboard maze, I believe. A body of the crime that I mean, I'll tell you one thing, the Pollyanna just got a lot smaller for next Christmas, you know? The amount of hipster friends they lost in there.
There's probably no evidence to tie them to the Flemish tourists, but they lost.
Except I don't know.
friends in
Harry's.
there.
Well, did we lose the cameraman? Right, we lost.
Yes.
So we don't have footage. We got no footage.
No, he threw the bag of tapes. That was the
Okay.
last thing he did. Well, second to last thing he did was throw the tapes.
Okay, so we have some footage. We have some footage that will become the snuff
the
film
evidence,
that the police will go through. You know,
The
this
girl
is gonna
standing
be,
against the wall in the bottom of the cellar.
Yeah, this is gonna be, dude. This is gonna be the new Poughkeepsie murder tapes. You ever watch that movie? That's a good actual decent horror film.
Poughkeepsie tapes, yeah.
Poughkeepsie tapes. That's creepy. You ever watch that, Al?
No, I have not.
Long story short, it's essentially a movie where a serial killer left tapes for the police, and they never knew he even existed in the town. And so it's like they're like, holy crap! Like they're going through tapes, and like this guy was like capturing and torturing people, and they just no one ever knew. And it's supposed to be in Poughkeepsie, New York, and it's all like, you know, creepy that he was doing all this. So like the cops are finding out after the fact, like how close they were to him and stuff. So yeah, it's a good spooky serial killer movie if you're into that stuff.
I mean, so no matter what, there are actual people that are lost, either because they were killed in the maze, and now that the maze is destroyed, there's no remnants, but there's still people that somebody somewhere knows hung out with Dave or hung out with Harry at some point in time, and they're no longer there. So
and his neighbor, what was his neighbor's name? Norman?
Leonard.
God, I'm not even close. I'm not even close. I need that cheat sheet. All right, so Leonard, he get caught by the Minotaur? I'm trying to remember.
No, he got caught by blades.
Oh, the blades, yeah.
Yeah.
Oh, poor Leonard.
just a couple of minutes ago.
So, yeah, you're gonna have a landlord investigate when like Leonard never shows up. You know, like
Yeah, he doesn't pay
they
his
don't even
rent.
have footage
Starts knocking.
that Leonard was there.
yeah,
He was behind.
And then whatever like mass text like that went out, like people were looking at cell phone records. They're gonna be like, everyone. The last thing that was on these people's phones was, we're all going to Dave and Annie's apartment. You know, so police are like, some phone records that say that you had some friends over here. It's the last reported of them.
Yeah, we also delivered a pizza, right?
Huh.
Oh my god, the pizza! Yes, the pizza guy's like, he's like, oh yeah,
Pizza guy knows.
yeah, he knows.
Pizza
too much.
guy
He's
saw
like,
everybody.
I delivered 3 or 4 pizzas, and there's a party inside.
Realize the only death they'd have on camera is Jane, because she was in front of the cameraman when she was beheaded.
Woof.
They don't have anything else.
Oh my god.
They didn't film Bryn because I only listened to the minutes. I couldn't tell if the documentary film crew got
He was
Bryn
filming
in any
her.
capacity.
He was filming her, but that's when he dies. That tape went with him.
Yeah, he was filming her in the Minotaur Carter.
Yeah.
And then you're saying that he.
Yeah, but Bryn was turned first into a sort of that cardboard marionette.
saying the
Weren't
cardboard
they talking
version.
to her?
Oh, cardboard Bryn. Yeah. I was talking about the human Bryn, but yeah, cardboard Bryn.
Bryn, he was running away when she got caught, so he wouldn't have got it on film.
Okay.
But they never interviewed cardboard Bryn?
Yeah, but that's the tape he was using when he died. So
when he
went
dies,
with him.
that same tape. Okay.
So the latest footage that he had is gone. Okay.
Yeah, I'm learning all this as we actually are talking right now.
Yeah, it's all of us. Like it's Rob in the center of the maze knowing everything, and it's you and me slowly working our way like blind. We're all bird boxing right now.
I feel like I'm playing that improv game, like 20 questions, and you're trying to figure out where you are and what you did and who you killed. At the end of the questions.
Yeah, we're the blind ones, and Rob's helping us put the maze up like one cardboard wall at a time. We're like, all right, here.
Go right.
Is this what you want?
Go left. Don't put
Okay.
your
Do you have
hand
like
in
a
there.
drawing or some kind of
Rob,
a document or layout? No, just put it there.
Rob.
Hello? Hello?
Am I close? Rob?
Is anybody? Hello?
Uh,
Can we play warmer, colder, hotter, whatever?
so how you feel now? How you feel about Dave's now like Return of the Jedi cardboard hand?
I hate it. I noticed it when one of the minutes that we had where it was revealed where he apparently put his hand into the cardboard vagina and realized it was a trap. But
Yeah.
I always thought it looked like a glove. It doesn't match to where it looks like his hand turned to cardboard. It still,
the
to me,
edges aren't
looks like
blended
he's
in.
wearing it over his hand.
Yeah.
It is really cool in person, though. They had it at the gallery exhibit, and it has fingernails made of tape.
Oh.
Like, it has detail.
Oh, I do see it now. Yeah. Whoa. Yikes. Oh my God. That's up there with Thanos glove.
Now, one thing I will say, and I think it's going along with what you're talking about with the glove, I have not seen the whole movie. I've been waiting till this project comes to an end so I can rent it and watch it. I think the art direction is so creative and so unique, and the idea of this whole cardboard world, cardboard universe, I think it's wonderful. I mean, it's amazing to see the 5 minutes that I was part of. To see that was amazing, and then to hear everybody else talk about their minutes, the forced perspective room, the room with the big giant like totem face belching out origami birds. I mean, all the things I've heard about, but I've yet to see.
And the paper bag room.
Yeah, I mean, just everything. I just think this is so creative to come up with this idea that you somehow go into this fifth dimensional maze where time and space means nothing anymore. And it could be infinite space. You could be looping around. You could be coming and going at the same time. No sense of up or down or left or right. And I just think it was a pretty cool idea to start with. I just wanted to see how they held it all together from start to finish.
Yeah. This is honestly as close as I think I'm ever going to get to actually seeing a House of Leaves movie. Like, because, like, House of Leaves is such a hard book to try and, like, get all these stories wrapped up. And the one you want to see the most is the labyrinth in the house.
Mm-hmm.
And, but to do it this way, and we got a little comedy out of it. It's not like horror. It's got a little horror in it, but it's just comedy and or at least our main couple and their friend got out of it. I mean, like, not everyone, but and so yeah, we come to Dave, tossing the last of the remnants of the maze, and I think he's upset is because he did quote complete the maze, but he completed it in a I have to complete it to destroy it.
Right.
So it's like he can't revel in the appreciation of the project. But I mean, Annie seems to kind of the smile she has while she's playing with the Sour Patch or whatever that candy is. It's kind of like she's kind of taking restock of her relationship with Dave. That her smile is kind of like it's like I'm proud of you smile. Like I'm proud that I know you can create stuff. Like maybe before this weekend she was thinking about how like, oh God, like what project is Dave gonna half-ass do, and I have to like kind of walk him back from a ledge or something. Now it's kind of I feel like she's happy that she knows he can create. He created something a little out of his, little he got out of hand, but he literally out of hand. But I know the fact that she's smiling, I think it's a good thing. She's not there's no I told you so. It's like, oh, thank God we're done with that, or I can't believe our friends are dead. It's kind of like
the last minute that Walt and I had, which is coming up, minute 70, which they were sitting around that 3D zoetrope, and he pulls out the samurai sword, and it looks like he's getting ready to do the heroic thing, because there was an exchange of glances, and it's the last thing we saw, so it's the last thing we talked about, is it looked like Dave was really happy to look at his maze, as if, or this heart, or whatever this zoetrope was, but then he looks over at Annie, who's got this apprehensive look. And then there was a shift, and the music shifted, and we realized he'd rather be with her than be with his maze. At least that's the way we interpreted it, because I have no idea what actually happens next, because we're now jumping here to minute 76.
Mm-hmm.
But it looked like he had made the decision to slay his maze, to get rid of it, because he chose Annie over the maze.
Yeah.
So we're here, and I'm guessing because it looks like he's dismantled the maze or whatever's left of the maze, they're putting on a trash heap. That I think that's, for me, to make this next jump 5 minutes forward or 6 minutes forward, is she's happy he picked her.
Yeah. That's a good point. Because, when the movie starts, he's kind of like, can you just get me some food? I got some more work to... Like, he's not talking about rescue. He's just like, I'm kind of low in nourishment. If you could just find a way to get me some food, I'd really appreciate that. And now it's,
Well, it's funny you say that about all he wants is just something to eat. And at the very end of this minute, we're looking at number 76. She feeds him or hands him a little piece of candy that he eats.
Yep.
So we've kind of come full circle. She does give him something to eat.
Yeah. And then they, hand in hand, they're happy. And, she's got to lead him away. She's still got to lead him away from the pile. He's still not done giving some mental eulogy to the maze.
Yeah.
He's still looking at it as if there's something left to talk about there.
And it's again, I'm coming from the perspective of I've seen 5 individual minutes. I've heard people analyze in their own way up to about 67 minutes, 68 minutes. And all I can see is Dave might be looking sort of at this thing that he made in sort of a reminiscence, but he doesn't hold back. He lets her take him where she wants to go. Yeah. There's no stopping. He doesn't hold her back or resist. He does linger for a second, but I think it's just because this was the first thing, or it seemed to us, the first creative thing that he came close to completing in his life.
Yeah. And he kind of did for a moment. There was that moment. He builds the heart of the maze, but he builds it because then you have to destroy the heart. So yeah. It's him being like, there was that moment where the maze was complete. It existed. It was done. I didn't have to worry about adding to it, but I had to immediately destroy it. I couldn't put it on a mantelpiece. I couldn't, do spray glue and hold it forever. It was literally trapping us for our doom. And we were being literally chased by minotaurs. So,
all right, I've got a question.
Yeah.
Right around second 35 of this minute, we've got this really low camera angle shooting up at Dave and Annie, and he's got this last little pile of cardboard. Do you sense any significance that for just a moment when he throws the trash on the pile, Annie is completely blotted out and all we have is Dave looking down at the remnants of his creation?
Whoa, yeah, it is a nice shot. Yeah,
also the beginning of that shot, he rises up from behind the cardboard.
I mean,
from that angle. And
I have to look at it from a filmmaker's perspective. It feels like this is his last moment between him and his maze. And even though Annie's there, the fact that she gets blotted out for a second, it's almost like just a one-on-one left with him and his maze before the camera shifts and we're back to her and him sharing a glance.
And that's when she gives him food.
Right. And does the little knowing. I love Annie. The casting of Annie, I mean, we've commented on it the minutes we had, between just that really, her big eyes, her expression, and her just genuineness. She conveys so much without saying a word.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah, just, great job building the character Annie. Really, really enjoyed her. I think it's definitely one of the things that helped this movie is that her and Gordon were immediately likable, but also felt like real people. They didn't feel like caricatures to me. Gordon felt like the excitable boy, kind of maybe in a slight Arrested Development of just, a man-child, but Annie felt like a real girlfriend who was worried and caring, but open-minded to the maze. Wasn't an annoying I don't get it. She took that box cutter and went straight in.
All right, I've got a question since it was one of the things we postulated because we only saw fragments. During the scene where Annie, Dave, and Gordon are outside of the cardboard vagina, there's sort of a tenseness that comes between them about the beard and the shaving, and yeah, you've put hands where you don't belong. Was there ever sort of a love triangle between those three? Was there ever a sense that Annie used to be with Gordon, or Annie may have thought that Gordon was the better catch, but ended up with Dave? Because we didn't know the context, but all we could guess was, based on some of the verbal clues, was there more to this three-way relationship between Gordon, Dave, and Annie?
I did think that when one of the earlier minutes I think I had a little bit of no, I think it was just when I was watching the movie. I'm trying to remember. But you're right. They were talking about Gordon and Annie before, while Dave was in the maze, and they're kind of like talking in the bedroom, which was kind of like, well, Dave's over there, and they're kind of over here. So it was kind of like,
right.
Gordon was almost like, wow, he's really like kind of, he clearly could tell he's clearly at least great friends with the both of them, that he doesn't feel like a stranger in their own apartment. I don't know.
There's nothing in the text.
Nothing in the text, you're right.
I mean, you've both watched it.
Well, there's nothing in the text to support it.
Yeah.
Huh.
But nothing contradicts it. And there are a couple things that make it fun, because Dave specifically warns Gordon away from the little maze inside the maze. And based on its location, that's in the bedroom.
Whoa, really?
And also was filmed in the same space where the bedroom was.
That's some meta shit.
No, it's just like accidental subtext that it's supported or supportable.
Well, because even in this minute, Dave comes up between Annie and Gordon to hug them both, sort of in a three-way hug.
Yeah.
And Dave is so much taller than the two of them that it makes a triangle.
Yeah. Yeah.
So, I mean, whether it's intended or not, I can't help it. There's so many context clues that lead me to believe maybe they were all just really, really good friends, and that's that three-way friendship where they're competing maybe sometimes for each other's time or attention. Maybe it never got more romantic than a typical triangle, but I sense there's some sort of a three-way relationship between them.
There's definitely history.
Yeah, if you told me that like before her and Dave were officially dating, that her and Gordon kissed at some holiday get together, I wouldn't be surprised. Like I'd be like, they had a fling, nobody got hurt, but it was kind of like clearly Gordon and Annie, in this hypothetical situation, knew that they could be close, but she did choose Dave, maybe because at the time, and once again, I'm making bullshit up, top of the head. Don't quote me. This is what I do. I just make up new plot. But she might have chose Dave in this hypothetical prequel because she thought he was going to be more of an adult and creative. And really, him and Gordon are they still stay the same, probably since college.
Well, for the minute that we had, I think it was 43, when that line came out that said, well, you're used to putting your hand where it doesn't belong. I thought, oh my God, maybe he was trying to make a move on Annie, but for whatever reason, he hesitated. He didn't necessarily go all in. And here comes Dave with a swagger maybe and just kind of wins her over. And Gordon always has maybe that little bit of resentment that he never acted fast enough, and Dave ended up with Annie.
Who says the line, you put your hand?
Gordon.
Well,
Gordon says it.
That phrasing is Alan's.
Oh, it's mine. What's the exact phrasing though? I thought he says.
Tell me. Yeah, walk me. Go
it's
back
something
to the
about
scene.
you. Yeah,
Let me see.
You put your hand where it doesn't belong.
Because I know the cardboard vagina and its like attractiveness was like clearly like some kind of creation of Dave's lust went into that thing, and it just everyone couldn't stop looking at it.
But Gordon gives him a really smarmy
Is there
line.
anything in this maze? Is there anything in this maze that you haven't tried to stick your hand in?
Right. There you go. The inference being because obviously they're outside of a cardboard vagina, and he must have put his hand in there. For us, for me and Walt, and maybe it's just our 14-year-old brains, the linkage of there's a vagina right there. He obviously put his hand in it. He goes, is there anything in this maze you haven't put your hand into? As if, is there anybody or anything you haven't wanted or done something with that maybe you shouldn't have?
And that's Gordon saying that to Dave, you're saying?
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah. Okay. Yeah. You can craft some.
I mean, that's all we had to work with.
Yeah.
So we saw that and we sensed it. Because, like, why would you say that? Why would you say, is there anything in this maze you haven't put your hand in? As if, is there anybody you haven't tried to steal?
Yeah. Yeah. Like I said, I have, the what you have in the very beginning when just, like, Gordon seems to be really, really comfortable in their apartment. Doesn't feel like a guest. He feels like the third roommate when he's in.
Yeah, he doesn't ask for a drink, he asks for a jar.
Yeah, and I don't get if that's some kind of like it's like a hipster bit where it's like, oh, all we have is mason jars or something. I don't get that. But it's like oh, what if we just kind of amp it up the script and say it's a jar, it's of a glass. But like the fact that he kind of felt comfortable and he even kind of like I said, he came into the bedroom to talk to Annie when she was kind of upset that she can't get to Dave. It did kind of feel like, wow, like Gordon's kind of like really comfortable, kind of just approaching Annie and that becomes so. That's us. But hey, the point is that it seems like all three are for the better. They all seem for the better. They have some dead friends, but they all seem for the better. Like I said, the Pollyanna is really.
Who doesn't by this point in their life have dead friends, right?
Yeah, the Pollyanna come Christmas is going to be real small. It's just the three of us and then and Harry. It's just that's it.
So I guess seeing this, I'll say, I still think there's sort of a three-way relationship, but it may be a three-way friendship versus anything more romantic than that. But I can't help but see it when he does the hug between the two of them. You know, you see he's the tallest.
All three of them are in the British high society film that they see earlier, a clip of. Like, they've been friends at least since, like, college a few years back. And they knew Harry because he was the one who made that movie. So
I just remembered minute 42, because we were lucky enough to have 2 back-to-back minutes. They were reenacting that one famous scene in Raging Bull. And that made us also think, why would you use those lines if there wasn't another reason for it?
Walk me through. What's the lines?
You fuck my wife?
Okay, so, fuck my wife.
Oh, yeah.
And they kept adding, like, did you say, did you? And he's like, no, just,
did.
You fuck my wife? And like, well, did you? No, there's no did. You fuck my wife? And I was like, that's the whole scene between Robert De Niro and Joe Pesci, where the two brothers there, Robert De Niro's like, hey, did you do something with my wife? And I thought, oh my God, this is sort of like a parallel that something happened between Dave and Annie that Gordon is jealous over. So, again, we're just seeing something out of context. We see this Raging Bull scene. We realize the significance of those lines. We didn't know if it's a favorite movie of theirs they just like to quote, or was there more significance underneath? Was there more subtext that we're supposed to pick up on?
Yeah. The more we think about it, the more I can't shake that all three of them were in college, and Annie might have, like, at least made out with Gordon, as well as
got caught under the mistletoe.
Yeah, under the mistletoe, or she, before she was with Dave, she had a small thing with Gordon, and like they parted, to keep the friendship between him and Dave. Maybe also in college, they all respected each other's choices at the time, and trying to keep there's no bitterness. I mean, that's
that movie Threesome from like the early '90s. It was all about them.
Yeah, or it's it's one of those some where it's like those bits of Chasing Amy where it's like I'm with her, but I wanted this and that, and everyone's emotional. There's
also, separate from like romantic entanglement between the three of them, there's jealousy to be had just that Dave finally found something creative that doesn't involve Gordon, doesn't involve Harry, doesn't involve Annie, and he's doing it well.
Yeah.
So there's room for jealousy regardless of Annie.
But I want to leave it on at least on a good note with Gordon, is that I think Gordon is definitely a braver and better person than he did when he entered the maze. Like, I think Gordon has the confidence to go off and either create something, do something, or and maybe meet his own significant other. I think Gordon's like, I survived this. I put I put myself in a line to try and save people in the maze, and I think he could, hey, use that as a pickup line at a bar for all I know. Hey, you ever fight a cardboard minotaur? No, I did. No big deal. Just like, cracks his back. Oh, no big deal. Just fight minotaurs, it's tough, they cut your heads off and stuff. You gotta watch out.
Did you ever have a night with the bull? Like Schlitz malt liquor? No. All right. Couple other questions that I have, because again, you guys know the movie, and we're coming in as we're obviously this is towards the end of the movie. The way it looks, we hypothesized in our last minute, which we had, that it had to be getting close to the end. It just felt like some big giant decision was happening here to either kill the maze or kill the heart of the maze or do something. So once we get past this point, does Dave feel like he can finally move on, that he doesn't have to keep dabbling in things that he never masters?
That's a good question. Because I don't think he doesn't want to go back to cardboard and paper crafting. Because I think he'd be worried, or at least Annie would be worried. She would try to stop him before he went any farther if he tried to do something again. But maybe he has more stick-to-itiveness now.
I mean, is his arc, does he at least get the sense that he's a better person now, or more confident, or did he overcome whatever failing he had at the beginning of the movie?
I think that a lot of that
tell.
depends on the reading of the audience. The movie isn't explicit about it. It's like, do you think he's better off at the end? Just like we've already said, he is looking longingly at that pile of cardboard.
But he chose her.
Sure.
But you're saying, like, it's almost like, does he have buyer's remorse right now?
Yeah, or...
Oh, jeez, that's the girl. God, man, I really should have that cardboard. But it's like, Dave, you were going to die in that maze. Like, you were going to die in that, man.
But what happens...
She was really hot for that one moment, but I created an entire world.
What happens when his next project he can't finish? Like, does he just go back to being in that rut he was in before? Or does he keep working until something finishes because he knows he can? But the movie kind of leaves that up to you.
All right.
The implication, I think, is the hopeful one.
Okay. Well, obviously we want to feel, because the way it looks, that we want the happy ending. We want to think everything is hunky-dory. I have another question, though. Mm-hmm. If his hand is still permanently made of cardboard, is he going to be able to go out in the rain?
Fudge, man. That's a good...
Can he swim? Take a bath? Shower? Like, there's a lot of questions I have about a cardboard hand.
Yeah, what happens to it when it gets wet?
Does he get chafing if he gets lonely? I mean, how does that work?
Gosh. Yeah, I mean, the fact that she's pulling that hand means that, I guess she's comfortable with the hand. She's not creeped out by it. But he is wearing a glove on top.
He was wearing
like a brown leather slip-on glove over.
Yeah, like a work glove, because they were doing... I guess he was worried about getting paper cuts.
Oh! Yeah, they're gonna have to he's gonna have to keep it like some kind of spray glue on top of it or something. Some kind of water resistant treatment spray.
Well, they have to either that the stuff you get at like Hobby Lobby when you create your own, you spray over, what's that stuff you put over puzzles you want to keep permanently? It looks like it goes on with a lacquer and then it dries clear.
Yeah, the stuff you can go you get at camping stores where it's how to waterproof your stuff and you gotta spray it on. So
he's got mink oil.
Yeah, so he's gonna have to probably do that then. Yeah, you're right for rainstorms.
Or if it did get in water, would it just dissolve and disappear? Would he have a nub?
Dude, that's some horrific thing to think of. I mean, is it and I'm guessing it's the fact that it must have mass when she pulls on it. It's got to be solid cardboard all the way through. It's probably not a hollow hole. It's probably it's got cardboard veins and cardboard tendons and. Or is it just the skin that's turned into cardboard and there's still bone and gristle and mud, blood and stuff underneath there? All held in place by that. Oh, God. It's creepy to think about. I mean, are these questions answered at all? Well, this is what happens when you watch a damn movie 1 minute at a time, especially when you don't know what the hell you're watching. I know. I don't care what they say. They got to do a sequel, not with a maze or something something else happens and a fantasy world is made, and then Dave and Annie are we're ready, and the three of them they get they make some kind of weaponry and they go into a fantasy world. I'd watch that. I'd watch that sequel. Unnecessary as it may be, I don't care.
Watterson does have a concept for a sequel, but we talked about it in minute 75, so I don't know if I should repeat it now.
Oh, that was yesterday, but I wasn't here.
No.
Yeah. God, so I gotta wait till then. And I gotta catch up, because I will admit I'm behind. So I gotta catch up, and then I gotta listen to that. So hopefully it's good. Hopefully, at least I hope the prototype's good.
Couple more questions I have, since you guys have both watched it, and I love sort of being on the backside of this, just kind of having fun with this. Do we ever understand how Dave creates this magical place, or whether it's, we hypothesized, because we saw the number 5 in the letter D that it was sort of a context clue that we were in the 5th dimension, but whatever. Do we ever find out how Dave created this magical world of where time and space and size doesn't matter anymore?
I mean, I think it's just that, like, I think he just kind of willed. I mean, it's the same reason. Why is the cupboard? Why is the ending come alive in the cupboard? Like, it's just like some emotional magic was put into that thing, and now, things come alive in it. So it's like the same thing with this. Like, he really put emotion. He didn't half-ass it. Whatever his emotion was pulling when he was creating these rooms and these traps and these paper-crafted majesties. They became alive. They became real. They became purposeful. Because he gave them purpose. Because he wanted purpose.
So the movie and the setting and the set and the backdrop, it wasn't just an imagined sort of shared, weird sort of dream experience. It was a real place that he created, even if it had a parallel to his hopes and fears in his own mind.
And I just love how it worked off of cardboard fort rules. The blanket was just. I love that thing. Like, a blanket, it's a temporary door. Like, oh my god! I was amazed. Like, oh my god, he's pulling from like childhood, like just lore. Like, who says it? That's how it works, man. That's how cardboard fort work. You put a blanket there. That's a doorway now. That's
right. And that's why, Walt and I, when we were going through our minutes assigned initially, we actually got to that point, and I actually said, oh, I hope this is like for real, and it's not one of those movies where he wakes up the next morning and it's all been a dream, and this all was just a half-assed analogy for the fears of his own inadequacies and his own. I didn't have a problem with the fact that the maze was a sort of an actual physical manifestation of those anxieties. I wanted it to be real. I wanted them to have suddenly magically, whether it was like some Harry Potter magic or he discovered some magical book, the Necronomicon or something, and all of a sudden they're in this 5D world, or we just never have it.
This actually drifted into a little tangent that I'm saving for later. So let's jump forward about 20 minutes.
We've kind of drifted a little bit away from this minute.
That's okay.
All right, well, how many minutes are actually left in this movie? Because we've got to be in the last, certainly the last part of Act 3.
The credits begin at the very end of minute 77.
Okay, so this is a very short movie. This is, 80 minutes? 77, 70, 80
it's
minutes?
81.
81?
Yeah. But
81, okay.
But, Alan, what do you think? They're leaving, but the camera lingers on that pile. Do you think anything's going to happen?
I think you're leading the witness.
Your Honor!
No, wait a minute. So, for me, because if you look at this minute, at second 58, Dave is still leaving the frame. At 59, he and Annie are, which is weird, the camera now does a reverse angle. So instead of him leaving to the left of the screen, he's now on the right of the screen. So you've kind of broken the 180-degree angle. But we see this giant there's a dumpster and all this cardboard in front with some plastic bags if I freeze frame. But that 1 second is so fast, I have no idea what's going to happen with this pile of garbage.
You don't know what's going to happen. You don't know anything.
No, I don't know anything. Thank you. You're like my wife now.
Yeah, you have to come back. Yeah, we're gonna have to come back in the metaphysical tomorrow of when this is published, and then see and hear if anything happens.
Like my wife, you keep talking, but you're not saying anything. Why don't you just shut up and let me talk? So I have no idea what happens in the next minute. Shit, I didn't know what happened in this minute. I just remember as soon as I heard the dialogue, I was like, oh, that's what ends every episode so far that I've listened to.
That's it. He said the phrase it pays.
Yes.
Yep.
Wait, what?
Wait, what?
I love that. I literally love that. I still, with 69 or 68 episodes, however many I'm in right now, that I'm waiting to get to this point, I laugh every time I hear him going, yeah, absolutely. Wait, what? Like, what did I agree to? All right, Robert. Well, this is your party. So what do we got left?
I should mention a few things from the minute.
Yes.
There's a couple specific things they have come up before. I believe the director mentioned it in his interview, but it's been a while. That was minute 1. Dave is wearing a shirt that's blue when he was wearing red the entire movie.
Oh,
that's
Jesus!
Deliberate.
Whoa. What does that mean?
The candy
Is
that
blue.
Annie gives him is also blue.
Yeah.
And this is the only moment where we see the sky,
Which is blue.
Artificially blue. It's actually fake. The sky wasn't that blue when they filmed.
Was it like more cloudy overcast or something?
Yeah, I'm actually not sure where this location is. It's not here at the studio in Glendale. That's like a half mile from my apartment. And it's not at the pre-production location. I'm not sure where this is. Probably near the director's house or the producer's house.
Well, it's actual sky. It may be just color enhanced to be a little bit more blue, but certainly.
Well, if you look at closely at the edges around Dave and Annie against the sky, it looks like they're in front of like a green screen because it's been artificially lightened, the sky.
Yeah, but
so it comes off a little weird. But it's only briefly.
Objects around them that I see, like even in the scene where the sky is all blue, just in the very bottom left corner of the frame, you see some of the garbage pile.
Yeah.
So I don't think it's green screen.
No, they just lightened the sky on a computer.
Yeah.
But the blue is deliberate, and throughout most of the movie, people weren't wearing blue. Things inside the maze obviously weren't blue. Most of them were brown. But it's because blue is essentially the sky. It's the outside. It's freedom. And so once Dave's out of the maze, he's wearing blue.
But what do the
The
red
food
flowers mean?
That's just the location where
Oh
they're
my
filming.
God.
I don't know.
Oh, so red flowers. Oh, it means nothing. Okay, I get it. Yeah. Grab 4 nuts. That gives you points. You grab 5 nuts and you lose points.
It's
no.
too many. Yeah.
Oh my God. What a dumb game. I'm not going to shut up about how dumb that game was.
All right.
But I like that
And-
the color that his shirt changed. That's stuff like that. That's one of those you got to go back and watch it. Like
Like Gordon's shirt.
Yeah, Gordon's shirt. Yeah, this is someone who was like, hey, remember how M. Night Shyamalan gives Easter eggs? We're just gonna pack this movie with little secrets.
Well, for what it's worth, the dumpster's also blue.
Yeah.
Yeah, Annie's outfit. I'm looking at her outfit. That seems to be the same pants, and so she has.
Yeah, same thing
her
she was
outfit-
wearing inside.
Okay, so yeah, her outfit is not.
Although
changed.
Dave was in there for 3 days, so he needed a shower.
Oh yeah, no, she's like, this shirt is just rank. This is going straight in the trash. You clearly sweating and bled in this shirt. It's gone.
So he knows how to deal with that hand in the shower already. We just don't get to.
Yeah, well, I mean, yeah, she put a bag over his hand.
He's got like a grocery bag and a rubber band.
Yeah. Yeah. All right. That's all my notes. I mean, that's a good way to. We're virtually wrapping up this minute and in this movie. I'm glad to be on. Glad to kind of see it through.
Yeah. No, I think Robert, you and I have the miracle or the beauty, or however you want to put it, about social media, about being able to meet people and talk to people that you've never actually met face to face, and yet have conversations and wish people a good morning or a good night, or hey, I got a question, or a happy new year, or Merry Christmas, all the stuff we just went through. I just think this was a really cool idea on the Movies by Minutes format, to try to get as many different people to really use powers of observation, to really take a lifetime in some, depending on how old people were, from just a lifetime of movies, and try to say, okay, based on what I've seen in 5,000 or 10,000 other movies, what do I think's happening in this minute? What do, me and my partner think's going on? I've loved just about every minute just to hear people's different takes on what's going on.
Yeah. I know. I gotta give you a lot of props, Rob, for helping produce and put this all together, because it really was. It's like, yeah, you could be a fan of your movie and then talk about your movie forever, and it's one thing to be guided by a host on their show about, what do you think of these minutes? And you go, well, I liked it. Thank you for having me on. But it was another to be like, given these minutes and no direction, and just be like, boom, hit the ground running. What do you think of this movie? I know you never heard it before, but now go talk about it. It was just great to just kind of like have this freedom of, like not having a constraint of like, we got to focus on this. It's like, no, we're just watching this minute. What do you think? I don't know these actors. I don't know where this plot's going to go. I don't know what's behind that cardboard corner,
And it really has done, I don't know what your ultimate goal was, but for it's done for me what I think it's done for a lot of the folks who've signed up for this. And when it's done, I want to watch the whole thing. I want to see from start to finish the whole movie and see, what did we get right? What did we get wrong? What was close enough? I'm just amazingly curious about what's going to happen in this movie, since I don't know all of the minutes.
Yeah, it was amazing along the way how close people were to knowing from a minute of footage what the movie was about and what was going on and where it's going to go. And even when they were wrong or making things up, some of those still fit, like the love triangle. The movie doesn't contradict it, so it might as well be there.
No, this was a really cool idea. I kind of liked what Jim did with the Die Hard minute, saying, hey, let's do Die Hard, but we get a team of people and you get 1 week and you go and that's your week. And I think that's a really cool concept, but I think you've upped the game by saying, let's take a movie that nobody knows about and just go at it. Just see what you think. What do you see? What do you imagine happened? How did they get here? Where do they go to next? And it's been a cool project. I mean, I've told you that a couple of times offline, where I'm just amazed to know, how people came and approached their minutes. Everybody's a little bit different. Everyone's got their unique take. And yet, by the time I get done listening to the entire podcast, I still have a sense of the movie, even though I really can't say for certain that I know what the movie is.
Yeah, because you don't know where they were
exactly
wrong, where they were right.
Exactly.
Yeah.
Maybe wrong, maybe right, maybe crazy.
You may be right,
That's
I may be crazy, but it just may be
Now,
a fool you're looking for.
Now, just out of curiosity, Rob, for the minute 77, who's the guest on for minute 77?
I don't know yet.
Okay. that's a good mission.
He's flying by the seat of his pants, man.
Yeah, I love it.
Now, listeners will know in a moment when the outro comes up, because I'll record that later.
Yeah.
Once I know. But I'm going one episode at a time for these last few.
Okay.
Figuring it out as I go.
All right, cool.
Now, to end this one, Alan, where can people find more of you?
All right now you can find me and my co-host Walt Murray at The Wilder Ride. We're thewilderride.com, but we're also The Wilder Ride on Twitter, on Facebook, on Instagram. Even our Patreon page is The Wilder Ride, where we look at the films of Gene Wilder 1 minute at a time. We also have some bonus content we did between seasons 1 and upcoming season 2. Our season 1 was Young Frankenstein, and then we broke off and we did Poltergeist and we did Christmas Vacation, but we are in the middle of gearing up for Blazing Saddles. That's our second season. That'll be coming out in late February, and we're going to have that 1 minute at a time as the typical movies by minutes format. And we're really looking forward to that project, because talk about walking a tightrope and a fine line in this current climate. That movie is my all-time favorite Gene Wilder movie. I think it is a satire that I think is maybe needed more than ever, about letting people just have a sense of, hey, have a sense of humor, but also realize satire exists to teach us a little bit about something, and stop worrying about words and things because there's a deeper, bigger meaning to a movie than just the surface level. And you need to be able to dive past words and labels that might sound offensive because there's a purpose behind why you use them the way you do in a movie like that. So I'm really, really looking forward to see how the audience of today reacts to a movie that was released in January of 1974.
And how about you, Dave? Where can they find more of you?
Well, you can find me, as I said, me and Sean, we did Groundhog Minute. We got that all wrapped up. And I always like working on 5 Minutes of Mystery, where I cover mystery men in little 5-minute chunks.
Okay.
Okay, I give like a 3-minute monologue.
Okay.
He goes like 30 seconds.
It's Mystery Men. I said, chances are you haven't seen Mystery Men. Please watch it and then tell me about it. Yeah, there you go.
Good movie, good show.
Hey, can I give one general, encompassing whoever's listening right now? If you're listening to any of these movies by minutes, just take a second and please go to iTunes, go to Stitcher, go to Google Play, whatever you're listening on. Give us a rating and give us a quick comment, because that really helps us know what you guys think, what you like, and it really does help boost us for people that might be looking for this kind of podcast. So if you're looking for Mystery Men, if you're looking for Groundhog Minute, if you're looking for the Michael Myers Minute, Dave Made a Maze, any Gene Wilder flicks, take a second and just give us a quick comment. It doesn't take but 30 seconds. Just write something, put a quick 4 or 5 stars. We'd love to hear from you.
And then I could probably disarm all the traps, and then we could finish this maze. Who is with me?
That was me, Robert Black of Michael Myers Minute, Alan Sanders of The Wilder Ride, and Dave Pallas of Groundhog Minute, taking on Minute 76 of Dave Made a Maze. They have mostly escaped the maze. Next time, on Dave Made a Minute, I'll be back with Sean German of Groundhog Minute, taking on Minute 77.
Thank you for listening to Dave Made a Minute. Intro dialogue snippets were taken from Dave Made a Maze, directed by Bill Watterson, written by Bill Watterson and Steve Sears, and produced by John Charles Meyer. Intro music is Diversion by The Equals, featured in the film Dave Made a Maze, and Life Cycle of a Match by Parvis Decree. Outro music is Leaving This Godforsaken Place and Her Presence is Strong Here by Parvis Decree. Dave Made a Minute is a production of Lemming Drop Studio and all other featured podcast producers. You can find more content at lemmingdrops.com. Check us out on Twitter, Facebook, and Instagram at Dave Made a Minute. If you like what you hear, throw us a rating and review on your podcatcher of choice, and check out all of the participants' other shows to spread the love around. Again, thank you for listening.
As long as we're all working together, this is going to be fine. It's going to be great.
I need you to notify the families of everyone who died here today.
Totally. Wait, what?